went and saw the trailer, and oh my god, there were so many times where my skin crawled with excitement.
Why not have be like? I mean, why not have a character that isn't, the big boobs and the booty and the boobs and the booty and the booty and the boobs and the lipstick and the red lipstick and the booty and the like. You don't always have to do that.
Like your squishy bishables to be busting out like that. That's not how skin tight suits work. Even with latex suits, if you're an H cup, that shit gets reduced to a C cup. Like if you're a B cup, that's gonna look like an A cup. Like, girl, it's going away.
All right, and here we go, back once again with another episode of the uncivilisedArt podcast. I'm your host, Bumi Hazan, but I go by Bandit Haze in the online space. And today we are going to be talking about all kinds of cool stuff. I'm joined today by the one and only Lady Celeste Orchid. We're going to be talking today about the Book of Life. I should have my notes ready. The Book of Life. We're going to be talking about Stranger Things, Tales from 85. We're going to be talking about Coco. We're going to be talking about Spider Noir as well, the new show on Amazon, and we might talk about a few other things as well if we get some time. Before all that, though, we're going to talk a little bit about the God of War Laufey Announcement and some of the opinions that were flying around the internet when that came about. But before that, Celeste, how you doing? Back from Dokomi.
Yo! Oh my god. Can I just say I survived the biggest event and it was so fun. I'm so glad I had the opportunity. I want to go back. Like, I need to go back. Not just because of the selling, but just the culture, the people, just the atmosphere. This was so huge. Like 9 convention halls. 9 convention halls. This place was its own compound. It had its own like security gates and everything. This was huge. I have gone to multiple events where they were like 100 plus. That being the biggest anime expo, I believe. And then I've been in the vicinity of MCM London. I was sick, but I didn't go in. VidCon, I believe, is the same area, so I understand the size. That's where I met you. But holy crap, Dokomi, 215,000 attendees. That was wild. And my God, if you can get a ticket, get there. Just go. Just see everyone walking around. It felt like a college campus of just fandom Japanese cosplay. And then, oh my god, the 18 plus lounge. Wow. If you're not 18 plus, you can't get in for a fucking reason. Oh my lord.
All right.
Some words.
Eyes only.
If you're a church going, sweetheart, virgin eyes, virgin ears kind of person, you do not belong there. Like, you do not go to 18 plus if you do not, 1, consume alcohol, 2, consume the pleasures of the flesh, or 3, enjoy the pleasures of the flesh by your viewing pleasure. Like, if that is a sin to you, 18 plus is, where the light does not reach. You must never go there.
You've been warned.
Yeah. But it was amazing. It was so nice to actually see a safe space for people who are those kind of content creators or artists. Safe space. And it's not just like erotica. There was a lot of horror style artists, say that 5 times fast, horror style artists that got a proper location where they could be a little bit more gruesome, more dark, more thematic with their art. And I just think that's so great because, everything's kind of like, lovey-dovey, cutesy wootsy, look at this. And then next thing you know, there's like someone with their guts pouring out. And it's like, bleh. And it's like, dude, that you don't want to show that to little kids. You can't do that at a family-friendly event. But if you have a specific 18 plus area, you can allow like these slightly lit, a little bit more trigger warning kind of stuff. And I think that's so nice that we have a space for those kind of content creators. And I saw one who just blew my mind. You know those prints that are like you look this way and then you twist it and it's a different vision? That guy blew my mind. And I didn't I didn't have the time to purchase from him only because Dokomi is that busy. The fact that it is not a 4-day event makes me so mad. Like, they've been doing this for so many years. Like, what are they doing? You need 4 days. Like, are you stupid? Like, it is literally 215,000 people, and you're trying to cram all this stuff into 3 days. Not even 3 days. That's not even true, because at night they close like Artist Alley and like all the markets and dealers rooms. Yeah, they close at a normal working hour time, so it's not even a 24-hour convention. The only thing that's like after hours, I believe, is like specialized workshops and then the rave, which normal people can buy tickets to the rave without buying a Dokomi ticket.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It is cool because it's so much fun. They got Japanese DJs this year. The first night of the rave, we got really blasted, but the song sucked, so I was not happy. We got home safe. That's all that matters. Second day was amazing. It was peak anime rave, what I wanted. It was amazing. I love it. I want it again. It fueled my soul. It fueled my life. It was everything that I needed, except the conga lines. I hate conga lines.
You know, I was just thinking that like I'm not really the raving clubbing guy anymore. I haven't been that guy for a long time. And the last time I went, I just felt old. So it was like, yeah, I wanted to go to bed. But I don't know, like an anime style rave. I don't know that I feel like maybe that might work for me, even at my age. I feel like that just might work for me. You know,
Uh,
or
If
or, or
if
what do you
I
think? Will I just end up being there like old man at the club?
Who cares? I saw old men there enjoying. Like, the one thing that threw me off was that they had this in a giant hall. Like, I mean, like MCM London Hall. And it was like really great that they did. They had plenty of seats for people to sit down, relax, which is great. I love that. But there was like 1,000 seats. And I was like, this is a little weird to see like okay, 1,000's an overstatement, maybe like 200 seats. And I was like, this is kind of weird to see this many seats. But it's okay, because when we were bored of the song, we got to sit down and just people watch it. Boy, was that great. It was great. So I think if I could bring you to an anime rave, you'd have fun. You'd have fun. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're sitting there sipping a beer, watching other people have fun, because you live through them.
Well, I wouldn't be
You can
sipping
just
a beer. So, like you were saying before, if you don't drink, stay out the place. So, yeah, I'll be there
wait,
with
you
an
don't
orange
sip
juice.
beer? You don't.
Yeah, I don't drink.
Oh,
Did I? Well,
you
I
don't
thought you
drink?
knew that, or didn't you? Okay, guess not.
I
Yeah,
didn't
I
know
don't drink.
that.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah, I don't drink.
We are
I don't.
learning things tonight, people, on the Uncivilized Art podcast.
I'll go to
Subscribe now. Every time you subscribe, we're going to get him one step closer to drinking. Just kidding. We understand and appreciate sobriety.
But yeah, I mean,
It's like getting
I haven't drank alcohol for I don't even know years now at this point now. But yeah, yeah.
I mean, it's overrated. Also, I got too drunk, so probably shouldn't have done that. Like, I drank to loosen up, maybe, but no. The next day, Saturday, I was clean and I felt good. So sometimes you just need some to let go, and then when you let it go too much, then you're like, okay, we're not doing that again for a while.
So this one, because the one you went to Japan, you went on your own. This one, you went with some people. Is that right? With Dokumi?
Technically, I did. So, what happened? Oh, this one's kind of sucky. So, what happened was I had asked my friend in February to come help translate for me at Dokomi. But then when it got closer to time in April, right before I went to Japan, they felt really overwhelmed handling the business. And they're like, hey, I don't think I can do it. So they backed out. So I got my number one guy to come. And luckily, I've been working him up to go to Dokomi with me. Because if I had just asked him out of the blue, he's like, no, I would never do that. I'm like, yeah, that might have been asking too much. But then my other friend from high school, she said yes, thankfully. And she came out. She paid for her train ticket, but I paid for everything else. There was a few times she bought her own food. But normally when people help me, I pay for everything. So my number one helper, he has been helping me since last year, September or August. And so I worked him up from small Danish conventions to larger conventions in Denmark, and now the largest in Europe, which is kind of like good on them. And so he's like, he told me this straight to my face, deadpan. Oh no, you don't know what you've done. I'm like, what did I do? Oh my God, do you have what's wrong? He's like, you've ruined small conventions for me. It won't ever be as good as this. I'm like, the fuck you mean, idiot? Like that's, I didn't say that, but I did say the fuck you mean. I'm like, I came from fucking Anime Expo to fucking Danish conventions, and Danish conventions are fucking micro tiny. So when people are telling me, oh, I'm so overwhelmed, like, okay, it's fine that you're overwhelmed, but when I have been dealing with 100,000 plus convention attendees and having the time of my life, and then like, I can understand if there's like 50,000 people, 20,000 people, 10,000 people, but when it's only like 1,000 people and they're like, I'm like, there's a reason why you live here. And now he's like, yeah, I see why you are the way you are. I'm like, that's what matters, because then you get me, because I live for this shit. It's exciting. I meet new people. I'm having fun. I see cosplays. I see artists. Like, I see my favorite animes, video games. I didn't get to do any video games, sadly.
You know,
But that's another topic.
I feel like I'm getting the impression that you're kind of like I don't want to say Jekyll and Hyde, but I feel like there's like a different side of you that comes out at conventions. That's what it's sounding like. You know
Oh,
what I mean? Like this.
absolutely. No, absolutely. So you're not wrong. Because when you know me in everyday lingo, I'm clearly just my real name, Marissa. But when you meet me at a convention, my Hulk Smash best friend forever says, "Oh no, that's Celeste. You're not talking to Marissa, and you can only talk to Marissa if you actually meet Marissa in person outside of a convention." And that's true, because normally I don't allow people from conventions to call me Marissa, because they haven't met me as Marissa. They only know me as hyper crazy goblin at the convention. Which is true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. It just awakens something in me. I have so much more fun.
Well, I think I definitely have to go to a convention with you, like a cosplay convention, because we've only met at VidCon
Mhm.
20, whenever that was, 17, 16 or
I think
whatever.
it was 2017.
Yeah,
And then you met
2017.
me in
And then
2022,
20,
right before I gave birth.
yeah, in 2022. But that was also outside a convention as well. So I've not seen you at a actual like anime cosplay convention. So yeah, we I think we're gonna do that. I'm kind of scared. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm kind of scared. I might be like, oh, what do I know what I'm getting myself into? Am I ready for this? But I'm also kind of
Listen,
like,
babe.
I'm curious as well. I don't want to see that side of you. I want to see that side of you. But then I'm like, oh, do I really want to see it? Do I really want to see it? I don't know, man. I don't know.
We can find
Yeah,
a
we gotta do
small event and I'll
it.
come over with my helper so that way we can ease you into it.
All right, fair,
Now,
fair.
if there's an anime rave, we will not force you to drink alcohol. You know, we will have you be the sober one, and we will gladly pay for your Uber to help us get us home.
All right, cool, cool. That's
I
a
mean,
deal.
yep. But, MCM London, that may be some ways away, but if we find a smaller one that's worth it.
Yeah, I've been to MCM London. I haven't been to MCM London for a long time now, though. But I think the last
Mm.
time I went was probably like it's gonna be years and years ago. But the last Comic Con I went to would have been MCM in Liverpool, which I went to 2 years ago, I
Oh,
think.
was that good? Yeah, because you said that you
Yeah,
dressed up as Nick Fury.
yeah, that wasn't Liverpool though. That was Oh, when did I do Lit Fury? Would have been that wasn't at Comic Con. That was at EGX. I did Nick Fury. It's a
Whatever
smaller
word
convention. Well, I'll
you
say smaller. They're still relatively big in the UK, but they're smaller. Well, everything's smaller than Comic Con, to be
Right, of
fair.
course, it's not as
But
big
yeah,
as MCM.
yeah,
MCM's the biggest.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
so
why
it's
people know
yeah.
it.
But yeah, that's the only time I've done cosplays when I went as Nick Fury to EGX. Other than that, I've just been to Comic Con, just regular schmegular clothes. So,
It sounds like when I go, you're going to be Nick Fury, and I'll bust out some Avengers type bullshit, probably Scarlet Witch, like not Scarlet Witch, Black Widow, because I have that on the back burner. She's not officially done. I just need to make the belt and the bracelets. But other than that, she done.
All right,
Because I
cool.
have the
So
wig
I'm
and
Nick
everything.
Fury, you're Black Widow. All right, cool. Deal.
Yeah.
I'm
So
not
when I
shaving
come
my
out,
beard
I'm
though.
like,
I'm Nick Fury. I'm Nick Fury with a beard. I'm not shaving. Actually, no. Nick Fury has a beard
doesn't
anyway. I'm Nick Fury
I was about to
without.
say,
Yeah.
shouldn't he have a
I'm not
beard?
shaving the sides. I mean, like he has a goatee, but I'm not doing the goatee. I'm just doing Nick Fury with a full
Okay,
beard.
so for those who don't know, Nick Fury gets shot and beat the fuck up in like one of the movies, so it's okay. He could be rugged Nick Fury in hiding, right? Shut up.
Oh,
It's
that's a good point,
okay.
actually. Yeah, I'm rugged Nick Fury. Yeah. We'll go with that. Unkempt Nick
You know what I'm
Fury.
saying? He's gotta hold up the little cat memo and be like, I got shot, bitch. We gotta
Yeah, with a
infiltrate.
scratch in the iron.
Oh, you know, that's one of my favorite lines from Nick Fury. So when in Captain Marvel, for all those who haven't seen it, which I'm just like, what are you doing? Anyway, so in Captain Marvel, she's like, Brie Larson's running away. She's like, you called it in. He's like, my bad. That's my favorite line. My favorite line ever. Because it's just like she trusted him, and he's like, I didn't trust you, bitch. My bad. And she's like blasting all this fucking shit out. It's just so funny because it's just like, dude, we thought you got her back. It's like, shit. It's really funny to me.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
My
Captain
I'm
Marvel,
sorry.
I reckon. I mean, yeah, I remember that when that came out, kind of got a bit of a backlash for various things, but you know, it weren't too bad a movie. I thought it was a decent film. But yeah, I liked it. Yeah, I mean, it was alright.
I was entertained, and I'm not particularly the biggest fan of Brie Larson, but she does get the job done. You know what I mean?
Now, speaking of getting the job done and leading ladies, there was a
Yes.
an announcement in
Where are we
recent
going?
times
Oh my
that
god, really? What announcement?
that caused a bit of a ruckus. It seems.
Oh
So
man.
yeah, God of War Laufey.
No.
And I believe that is how it's pronounced, Laufey. If I've said it wrong, I'm sorry, but I
Yes.
believe it's pronounced Laufey. God of War Laufey was announced. It is a spin off to the God of War games where you play as Laufey, which
Kratos?
is Kratos' wife in the game series. Um, to my understanding, it's I guess set in the afterworld, so it's after she dies, and you know dealing with the you know the gods of war in the afterlife and things like that. And yeah, they showed off some footage, and it looks you know like some you know pretty cool action. I don't want to say standard affair in terms of God of War, but it looks like they're doing this similar sorts of things in terms of how you play and combat and stuff like that, which is not a bad thing. Let me just be clear on that. It's not a bad thing, but you know, it looks pretty much in the same vein as the recent God of War games, right?
Yes.
Which, you know, under normal circumstances, you'd think is fine, but apparently these aren't normal circumstances because
Yes.
it seems the internet had some thoughts. Now, before we get into that little detail, what were your thoughts on the God of War Laufey announcement? Is it something you're excited for, something you care about, or yeah, you're not too bothered about God of War games anyway?
So I was curious because I saw people posting about it. So I stopped seeing what people posted. I went and saw the trailer, and oh my god, there were so many times where my skin crawled with excitement. I am excited. I am ready. I'm ready for this action game. And so like I was looking at this chick. I was like, she's badass. Oh my god, she's lived through some shit. Like this is not a young lady. We are not looking at Stellar Blade like, oh, high and tidy like looty booty chick. Like this bitch pushed out fucking Atreus. This bitch has gone through some shit. She's dead. She woke up in an unknown place. She did not shower. Like you expect her to look as pretty as like a Victoria's Secret model down the runway. Like that shit ain't not happen in the afterlife unless you get under a waterfall and then slam your face into some mud. Like newsflash, people, makeup is dirt you make yourself pretty with. And then at the end of the day, you still have to wash off that dirt. But guess what? This bitch been born in dirt. She was burned into dirt. And then she woke up as dirt. And now she's still dirty and oily and gritty. But guess what? Now she's got to fight all this crap with crap lifted all over her. So of course she's not going to be as pretty. So I'm just like, dude, Kratos fell in love with that baddie. Look at her kick ass. Like he's probably like, oh shit, yeah, throw that fucking axe, baby. Oh yeah. Cause like, this is technically like his third marriage. So it's like, tired of getting this damsel in distress
Second,
bitches.
I
He's like,
believe,
oh yeah,
actually.
I gotta what is it?
I think it's the second one, second marriage, unless I've missed one. I don't know.
I don't know. But I do
Yeah,
know for a
but yeah,
fact that
not
he
the
is
first anyway.
covered in yeah. It might be I know it's not the first, but I know it's not maybe it's the second. I don't know because like in some of the other ones, like I thought you had romantic hookups. But anyways, my point is like you got some hot ass giant bitch, and it's just like ooh, she's strong. That means giant pussy be strong too. And it's like she's badass. She's so badass. Like I want to play as her. I don't like. We're going to be the back of her head majority of the time. So who fucking cares what her face looks like? I'm not gonna see it get smashed. I don't want her to get smashed in the face. Like God no. God of War no. So yeah, I love that trailer. Not only was that like what they had to offer, but I am excited. They gave us such a big chunk to swallow, and now like yeah, I'll hold off on what I read on the internet. But like for me
Yeah.
personally, I cannot wait to see this game released. Like hats off to not what is it, Naughty Dog or Santa Monica? I can't remember if it's both studios or just
It's
one.
not Naughty Dog. It's
It's not Naughty.
yeah,
It is
it's
Santa Monica then.
yeah, I think it's Sony Santa Monica. Yes, yeah, Sony Santa Monica. Naughty
Yeah.
Dog are the like
So
Last
like
of Us
hats
and stuff
off.
like that.
Yeah. Naughty Dog used to be Crash Bandicoot and they're mainly Last
Yeah.
of Us right now. But like hats off. Like I love the game. I think it looks great. It's into this part that being like somewhat of the community, I'm not going to generalize it, but I know that people would love to know more about Laufey. Like, who is this bitch that tied down Kratos? Who the fuck is Atreus' mom? Like, we need this side story to tell us and close this chapter because, like, it's not finished. We don't know, so now we're gonna know, and I think it's exciting with all this fucking shit that we're gonna be going through.
Yeah,
Also,
I
giant
agree with that.
slime.
Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, I saw the gameplay. Well, not gameplay footage, or the trailer. Not sure if they actually showed gameplay or not. But anyway, I saw what they showed in the trailer.
Technically,
Um,
some of it is fake.
it was gameplay. Okay, cool. And yeah, it looked cool.
Yeah,
I
some of
mean,
it. So the part where you fight the orchid vine people, the orchid vines is the first part of gameplay, and then the second part of gameplay is when you're breaking out of the cage, and then you're fighting
okay,
in the
cool.
arena.
There was some gameplay.
There
Okay,
you go.
but yeah, it
Look
looked
at
cool.
that! Look at that! I know. I remember.
Yes, sales prepared. One of us is anyway.
Turn on my
But yeah,
Celeste mode. You like that, bitches?
it looked pretty cool to me. Like it looked like I say, look, I didn't play Ragnarok mainly just because time, and things like that. I mean, I still want to get to play at some point, but yeah, time to play games, things like that doesn't always work out the way I'd like. But I did play God of War 2018, which I really liked, and I played the previous God of War games before that, which I liked too. So they're all great for me. I guess I am a fan. I wouldn't say I'm a big fan, but I'm a fan enough of what they've done. I really like the previous games and the 2018 game, and Ragnarok looks pretty cool. So hopefully I get to play it at some point. And this, yeah, it looks pretty cool as well. Looks like I said, it looks like they're in the same kind of
Uh-oh.
vein and continuing that. Um, so yeah, I mean, in terms of whether I would play or not, that's just going to be down to time. That's it. It comes down to me. I don't have a PlayStation 5, so if they release it, they'd have to release it on PC, which I don't know if they're still doing anymore with the Sony games. But if not, then yeah, I might have to just suck it up and
I believe.
eventually get a
Yeah. So
PS5.
I believe most of the Sony exclusives will stay on Sony.
Yeah,
That's why
I
they're
feel
Sony.
they're
And
cutting
they
back on
push
the PC
sales.
releases now, isn't it? So, oh well,
Yeah.
oh well. But yeah, it looks like a cool game to me. Now of the many responses it got, like yeah, there was a lot of nonsense comments about people don't want to play it. I don't want to get too much into that because I feel like there's certain people out there who just say things just for the sake of saying it. Whether they actually believe it or not is debatable, and even if they do believe it, it's like, you know what, that's your own stupid opinion, quite frankly. But yeah, of the comments that it got, one that stood out to me was from David Jaffe. And David Jaffe, for those who don't know, was the creator of the original God of War games. So he's not involved with God of War anymore, and I don't think he has been for quite some time. But he was the original guy behind it. So his comment, you kind of want to pay attention to it a little bit. And what you said did get taken out of context a little bit, so I'm going to try not to do that here because I watched the video that you put up, and to my understanding, hopefully I've understood what he said correctly. It, the whole thing about playing as a woman or the way she looks wasn't so much the issue directly in terms of he doesn't necessarily have an issue with how a woman looks in the game, but his point, as if I've understood this, is that he doesn't think it would sell if she looks like that, and because um it's Sony's money, they're putting lots of money into this. He feels like they should focus on pleasing basically their target audience rather than trying to create arts. He talks about when he was doing his God of War games, for him it was just about making it a badass game and a badass character. They weren't trying to make art. And I get that. I understand that. And I appreciate him saying that. But my response would be that one, like even if you don't necessarily intend on creating arts, that doesn't mean that you didn't, because people experience things differently and it means things to different people. But nevertheless, his attitude at the time of making that game was just give the people what they want. Not a bad attitude to have. Like I said, it's a great game, one of my favorite games, so I'm not knocking it. But just because that was their attitude towards making those first games, that doesn't mean that has to be the same attitude when it comes to making these later games. And especially when you consider the fact that 2018 God of War was a very different direction to the previous God of War games. Like, it was massively different. And they're both great in their own right. It's not like one's better than the other. They're both great games, just for different reasons. So the fact that they were able to do that back in 2018, and then of course Ragnarok followed afterwards, why not do something different now with the spin-off? Why not be like, I mean, why not have a character that isn't, you know, the big boobs and the booty and the big boobs and the booty and the booty and the boobs and the lipstick and the red lipstick and the booty and the, like, you don't always have to do that. And why not say, hey, you know what, we're just gonna have a lady who is, I mean, I don't want to say ordinary looking because I ain't gonna lie, that sounds kind of disrespectful. She's not ordinary looking. She's,
Just
you know,
say, like, what
but
you can say is she's not supermodel anime figure Jessica Rabbit.
yeah, the character they created isn't, I guess, a typical of beauty standards in the modern
Gaming realm.
era, right? In the gaming realm. But
Yeah,
yeah,
we're
so
not looking
what?
for some dead or alive bitch here.
Yeah, so yeah, it's not the typical dead or alive chick. But yeah, so what? Like, why does that matter? Like, if you're, I mean, why not do something that just says, hey, because look, and maybe he's right, maybe it won't sell, maybe it will be a flop, but at least you trying something. At least at the very least you can say, hey, we tried it, it didn't work. If that's the case, hopefully it does work. Hopefully it goes on to sell whatever. But if let's say it doesn't, yeah, at least you can say you tried. And I think that's always better to try and fail than to never try at all. Like when you have an idea, and yeah, it's Sony's money, but clearly I think it's somewhat safe to say Sony is somewhat okay with this. Otherwise, it just wouldn't be happening. So yeah, it's a lot of money. Yes, there's a lot of people that it doesn't appeal to, but who knows? Maybe you could branch into areas that gaming hasn't reached before with this because of that, or partly because of that. And if that's the case, then why not at least try it and see where it goes? Because gaming as an art form, as a medium, as just a culture, has changed massively over the years. And even since the original God of War games came out in what, 2005, around about then, how much has gaming changed since then? So look, I'm not trying to, discredit David Jaffe. Like I said, God of War was a great game, and he also did another game called Drawn to Death, which I really liked, even though nobody else did. But I liked it. I liked it. So I'm not trying to, knock his opinion. But also, it's like that was you back then. Great, it works. It was fantastic what you did back then. 20 years later, 20 plus years later, somebody wants to try something different. And maybe it'll work, maybe it won't work. That waits to see. But I think it's great that at least trying, because otherwise you're just going to have the same things over and over again. It's like I said last podcast about fried chicken. When people like fried chicken, it's like, okay, you could give them fried chicken and it's great and they enjoy it because it's fried chicken. Everybody likes fried chicken. But sometimes you wait, you know what? I know you like fried chicken. I want to give you something that you don't know that you like yet. And maybe
popcorn chicken.
Exactly.
It's still the same thing, but it's without the bones, bitch.
Yeah. You don't know you're gonna like this, but I want to give you this because I think this is what you don't know you want yet, and I feel like as creatives, that's what creators should be doing, is giving you what you don't know you want yet, So yeah, that's my little 2 cents.
I'm gonna play off of that too, because so I just read in a recent thing because they released the next Stellar Blade. The next model character is not Eve, but her name is Evie, who does not have the big busty booty or the big boobies. She's got more of a flatter, appealing look, but she's in a skin tight suit. And I'm just like, dude, she's probably stacked under that, because as someone who has worn skin tight suits for cosplay, that shit gets compressed. Like, there's no way that you can fit like your squishy bishables to be busting out like that. That's not how skin tight suits work. Even with latex suits, if you're an H cup, that shit gets reduced to a C cup. Like, if you're a B cup, that's gonna look like an A cup. Like, girl, is going away. So the the creator also said, like, Eve was bland. So now they're working on something on making a more layered character for Evie, which I think is interesting because they did push the narrative of like, okay, here's super hot chick, she's gonna run around, be all sexy and shit. But now they're like, okay, that didn't carry us enough. So now we're going to reduce a little and give more character development with like a more subtle Asian appealing hot chick. And when I mean subtle, she does have smaller curves. Like, it's not like she's just a cardboard stick, So it's nice to see that. And other things too is like, if we look at Alloy from Horizon Zero Dawn, they sold plenty. They sold plenty and was able to get a second game. So it's just like, people who are pushing this narrative of like, oh, they have to be beautiful, they have to be something that appeals to the male gaze. I'm like, okay, well, when we did that, like Heaven's Sword and PS2 days, that didn't sell well. Look, like Blood Rain hasn't come back, and she's a hot vampire chick. What do you think about that? Also, look at the Dead or Alive franchise. It's nothing but booby and booty and hot, cute anime girl face. So it's just like, that's not selling well. Like, you tell me if it's selling well, because it's like, okay, where's Dead or Alive 7? Where's studio going? Like, I don't know where we're going. On top of that, we have other games that still push like sexy narratives. Look at Dynasty Warriors. They're always like, oh, look at Dao-chan. Look at her boobies dancing and running around the battlefield with her weapons. And like Zhang Jie, like, look at these. Like, we have plenty of hot girls that men are not buying the games anymore. So it's just like, it's saturated, it's been done. We can have something different. It's okay to change the narrative. And if you don't like these newer characters, go back and play the old games. It's not going to hurt you. If anything, find another game where it's like an indie developer who has a big booby Jessica Rabbit looking as anime girl and play that and then review it. Because you don't have to give your money to AAA titles if you don't like the way a character looks. On top of that, you're mainly going to be looking at the back and doing the customizations anyway. And guess what? We have a new game of Final Fantasy VII coming out anyway. So you still get your big booby anime girl, Tifa. So shut up. You know, there are plenty of big booby anime booty girls out there. And it's just like, you know what? It's not going to hurt you because we do have games where it has been proven to be successful and it doesn't focus on the looks. Point fact proven, Horizon Zero Dawn. Also, kind of Resident Evil. Like, we know that Ada's peak, but come on. Like, they kind of made Jill Valentine and Claire Redfield more human relatable. To be fair, there's always going to be one sexy hot villain chick now after Resident Evil Village. So yes, I understand. We did get the sexy hot booby anime girl, but we didn't get it in 7. So
Yeah. But there's still plenty of big booby, sexy booty boobies around. Like there's no shortage of that, if that's what you like. And but yeah, I think to your point as well is like, games have done that and not all those games have sold well. So it's not an indicator of what sells, not really. Like it's comes down what always going to come down to in vast majority of the times it is, was the game good? Did people
amen.
actually enjoy playing it? Because you might buy a game and be like, oh yeah, she's sexy, she's hot, and you play it for like 5 minutes, but like, I'm just bored. you know
Amen.
you might stick it out for a bit longer because it's that, you maybe want to jerk off a little bit more, whatever, but after that, you're just bored.
18 plus.
Yeah, just bored. Just like, come on, like
Oh
if
my
there's
god.
no substance to the game, then like none of that matters. But whereas you take a game that has a lot of depth to it, whether it's depth in terms of the gameplay, depth in terms of the story, depth in terms of character, or some combination of all of those. So what if the lead actor isn't, the hottest of the hottie hotties? So what? Is like if the game is good and it draws you in and you want to keep playing it and it has good actions and the gameplay isn't awkward or frustrating or things like that, and all that sort of stuff. If they nail all those parts, I feel like a lot of that's not going to matter, and it maybe it doesn't sell big in its first week, but once it comes out and if people are playing it and people are like, you know what, this is a great game, it gets picked up. Maybe next week starts going up a bit. Next week starts going up a bit. Next week starts going up a bit. But my guess would be that all those people. This is why I feel like a lot of these comments on the internet just kind of bullshit because like I feel like, and other people said this as well before, but all these people saying about, oh, it's not going to sell, it's not going to sell. I'm not going to buy. I'm not going to buy it. I don't want women in my games. All those people saying stuff like that. I reckon they'd be front and center buying it day one.
Oh yeah.
Those are the
Easily.
people going to be front and
Or
center.
the collector's edition.
Yeah, they're talking real whatever, well, reckless on the internet, but that comes out. They've probably got it pre-order. They're waiting. They're probably got it in their calendar when the pre-orders go live, so they can pre-order it right away. They're probably going to stay up late so they can get that pre-order. Get a
And
special
beat it
edition.
within the first 24 hours that it
Yeah.
releases, and be like, I don't need the spoilers because I wrote them.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
No,
they'd be
yeah.
front and center.
Yeah, so like last part, like there's this one game I played on PS1 and it had big booby anime girl art. Like it was so cool. The story is so cool. But the problem is the gameplay was it was like 2 buttons and it was a fighting game. And it's just like if you want to do attack, you just push square. Square, hold square, square. It was the worst thing ever. But it was so cool. And it really hurt me because I'm just like, if only the gameplay was better. Like it could have been so much better. And like I've met a cosplayer from that video game, and I'm just like, man, that game sucked ass, but it was so cool, wasn't it? She's like, oh my god, wasn't it so cool? I remember back in like 2006. So like, yeah, if you guys know what Evil Zone is from PS1, you the real ones, because we've been burned by big booby anime girls, but that was a shitty game, but the storyline was cool. Like it's so old.
Was it called Evil
Okay,
Zone?
yeah, Evil Zone 2 words. It was so bad. So
Yeah, I think I
it's like,
found it on Wikipedia. I don't think I've heard of this game, but okay, yeah.
oh well, I mean, it's not. It could be better. It could have been so much better because it was just like 2 buttons, and it was so cool. And I at that point when I was playing, I was starting my fighting game journey. So I was starting to play like Tekken. I think at that point it was Tekken 3. So it was Tekken 3, Soul Calibur just released, and then there was a little bit of Dead or Alive. We weren't playing Dead or Alive that much, but it was just so cool. Let me see if I can find it. But I just remember
1999 it came out.
Ihadorka. Yeah. So Ihadorka was like the big baddie, and I was like, dude, this bitch looks awesome. Dad, can we get this? Dad, can we get this? And like, there you go, big titty anime baddie. And that game sucked ass. But she was so cool. I love that game, but I hated the actual like button schematics and everything else. So was I happy? No. Was I happy to see anime girls fighting? Yes. Did it do well? No.
Yeah, so that's the message for today. Just because it's got breasts, don't mean it's the best.
Big anime girl like hottie.
Oh yeah, okay.
It has
Just
to be a
because it's
hottie.
got
It's not just about the boobies because that chick was hot.
yeah, okay. Let me try and think of a better rhyme. Just because it's got big hottie boobies, don't mean it's the dude. Yeah, okay, that's lame. Okay, never mind.
You gotta work on that. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can help you. Just because you got a baddie on the front doesn't mean you're gonna get a baddie on the inside.
Yeah, but that doesn't rhyme.
Okay, well you fix that. You workshop that part. I fixed it. Because guess what? A baddie can have big boobies and a great face, or just big boobies, big booty, or it could be the whole package.
Oh, I got one. Just because
Okay,
the
try.
game's got a baddie, don't mean when you play it, you're gonna be a gladdie. Glad.
No, no, that's not like right. Okay, let's try one more. We have to Bandit Bundy's gonna be mad at us because we didn't think of something. Think about it. Just because you have a baddie on the cover does not make you a game lover.
Yeah, we could tweak it a little bit, but I think that we're getting there. You know,
Look, I
yeah.
I feel like I did pretty good for an Asian girl. I don't rhyme. I am not on Wild and Out for a reason, okay? I am not
because you
Tim
got a baddie on
Delgado.
the cover, don't mean when you play the game you're gonna love her.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think we got
It's a little bit wordy. It's a little wordy, but I think that's good enough.
Wow.
All right, stamp it, logo it, trademark, we good.
Yeah, indeed. Now,
Coming soon to
speaking
NTM London. That's our merch.
Yes, we're gonna have it on t-shirts. Speaking of that, I'm not even gonna bother with a segue. Tell us about the Book of Life.
We could just actually I could segue that. So while we were talking about baddies, there's this girl named Maria in the Book of Life who is the ultimate baddie in this little town that caused 2 boys and the 2 gods of death to fight, and like who gets to reign supreme over the land of like the happy dead or the land of the unhappy dead. And so you got to pick your baddies. But this baddie, she got really smart. So Maria is voiced by Zoe Saldana. Am I saying her name right? Gamora.
I believe that's correct. Yes.
Yeah, it was just really exciting because it's like fun to see. I like her. I like power women roles, and this one wasn't one of those like Sophie, I'm a damsel. It was not one of those. It was cute in so many ways because it is kind of like a computer claymation style. The characters in the story are within a story, so it's not an isekai, but it's a telling of the story using the Book of Life. And this does play into Mexican culture, which I am not familiar with. I wanted to do this for our May podcast for Cinco de Mayo, but I missed it and I totally forgot. And now we're bringing it back up. So
only a month late, it's fine. Only a month late. It's fine.
Shut up. Anyways, I was in
Unio.
Japan, so I couldn't even do
Oh.
that if I wanted. Truthfully, I was. So, yeah. That being said, I love the animation. I thought the story was fun. It was interesting having the bickering back and forth. If you like The Princess Bride, this is kind of similar with clay animation and good voice acting and storyline. It is a little bit long, but it's interesting to see their take on Mexican culture on like quote unquote Day of the Dead
Okay.
or Mexican history, like Mexican folklore at this point. It's not necessarily Day of the Dead, but it's more around it.
Yeah, I did watch the trailer for this, and yeah, I think they do mention, or at least it implies Day of the Dead in there. I can't remember if it mentions it in the trailer specifically, but it did have that kind of imagery of El Dia del Muerte, if I've got that right.
La Muerte.
Muerte. Um, but
Again, I'm not versed in it, but I'm learning it.
But I guess at least the impression I got from the trailer, though, you could maybe let me know if this is true or not. But I kind of got the impression that it's similar in a way to what they did with Encanto, um, in the sense that it borrows a lot from, well, that was, from Colombian culture, but, this from Mexican culture. Um, is was that sound about right? Where in terms of like, it's very much rooted in that history.
I'm trying to think of how to process that because Encanto had such a different storyline. You know what I mean? But it's like in their history, I wouldn't say that it makes sense to say it's rooted in the history versus Book of Life. I don't think okay. Because I don't know. Uh like Mexican culture. I don't think they have like necessarily everyone believes in the Book of Life. I don't know. Let me look that up. Because I would dare say no, just to go off of the top of my head. Let's see. Apparently, Channing Tatum was Joaquin. Look at that. Did not know. Beep, pop, 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 pop.
Okay. So
Hold on. I'm looking it up
maybe
really quickly.
entertain the audience while you're looking it up.
So, the opportunity to have the Book of Life. Okay. 14 years briefly released. Stories originated in Guterres' student film Carmelo. So it is not a real thing to have Book of Life. So it is not a like legit idea from Mexican culture. So you. But the thing that does kind of resemble it is because of like Day of the Dead kind of ideas when they have the sugar skulls and La Muerte and Shibala are, I believe, real. I know I know La Muerte is, I think. Let me double check. Because I don't know. Again, I'm looking for this lady's name.
Is it? I mean, I'm guessing it's in English, even though there's seemingly quite a few Spanish-speaking actors in there.
No, I watched it in English. I do not know if it has been in other languages, despite watching it a few times. But I love the fact. Okay, so La Muerte.
La Muerte.
Yeah, La Muerte and Xibalba. Ice Cube is the candle maker. Okay, so we're
So it's
looking
La
this up.
Muerte,
We're
not
learning
El Muerte.
today. So, oh God. Nuestra Señora de la Santa Muerte. Our Lady of Holy Death is a new religious movement. It's a female deity and a folk Catholic saint. So it's a neo-paganism thing. She came to movement feast. Well, it's her feast is August 15th. So day of hold on. Day of the Dead is August 15th, apparently, for her. It doesn't say when
Okay.
this actually started. It's apparently 18th century. I don't know. 18th century is still kind of new. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
So
that's like what we 21st century now. So yeah, a couple
yeah,
hundred years back.
yeah. So they're saying, yeah, by the late 2000s, La Santa Muerte had become Mexico's second most popular saint after Saint Jude, and had come to rival the country's national patroness, the Virgin Guadalupe. Okay. That being said, so she is a real deity that people worship and believe is real, and they pray to her, the shrine of most holy death. So I knew that she was someone. I seen my friend get a tattoo of her. I was like, I don't know what that be, but that's cool that you put it on your skin, because like I just thought it was cool. I didn't ask more. And then Shibalba, his name is also okay. So he is the Mayan god of death and earthquakes. So they took him from something else. He is not directly related to Santa Muerte. So there's that. So
Okay.
these two
So
things
the
completely fiction.
okay. So Shabalba's wait, Shabalba's made up, or which one's made up?
No, Xibalba is the Mayan god of death.
Oh, that okay.
Yeah. So he's not directly like Mexican in a way, because Mayan can be like a lot if you think about it. But he is the god of death. And um in Mayan culture, the Yucatan Mayas, it was Huncam and Volcantam. So we're learning a lot.
Yeah.
So these two were never supposed to be lovers. So we got like a saint of death, and then we got the actual god of death from some other paganism. So this is all a fictional tale, super fictional.
Yeah. But they've included, I guess, you know, real life mythologies in there. Okay.
Hmm. So I'm saying, because both stories are made up, maybe that's a yes, and both have
Or,
fictional counterparts.
well,
Yeah,
maybe yeah. I guess
like
they
Encanto.
had creative liberties, but yeah, just based
Well, I
on
mean,
real life
at
mythologies.
least the house definitely don't exist, and there's no house given magical powers. Whereas people do pray
Wow.
to both the god of death, and like at one point people prayed to the god of death in the Mayan culture, and then now people today still pray to like Santa Muerte.
Okay.
I think they're just easing people into neo Latino paganism.
Okay. I understand. I understand. Um.
I'm learning too. I'm learning too.
Yeah.
And if anyone wants to correct me in the comments down below, I will not be livid. I will take it humbly as I'm learning things, and I watch this as an entertainment perspective.
So the actress who voices La Muerte, her name is Kate Del Castillo, and I know enough Spanish so that Del Castillo translates as of the castle.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that because of Casablanca? I don't know.
Well, Casablanca would be more, would be White House.
Yeah, White House.
Casablanca.
I'm not doing anything. Okay. Again, I'm learning as we go.
Yeah. Yes.
Anyone who wants to correct me in the comments down below, that's I will not be upset. I'm very new. I don't even want to call myself a noob, because it's like I dipped my toes in and I'm enjoying it. Does
This is
that
an
make me
interesting. Oh, sorry. Didn't mean to cut you
go
off.
on?
My bad.
No,
I was just saying
I'm good.
it's an interesting cast because you've got like Zoe Saldana, you've got Diego Luna,
Channing Tatum.
and Yeah, well, there's quite a few, say, Spanish actors, but yeah, then Channing Tatum, Ron Perlman, Christina Applegate, Ice Cube. So yeah, be I mean, I guess for me as someone who hasn't seen it, it'd be interesting to see how that all goes together because that's what I was saying. I'm guessing they speak English as the main language. I'd imagine there's a Spanish version of it or a Spanish dub of it somewhere, but I'm guessing for the main dub they're probably speaking English. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how those work in terms of their accents and in fact, yeah, that's I guess that's a question. I do the non Hispanic actors do their accents stand out too much, or is it all kind of fit not you'll fit
So
well?
it didn't annoy me as much as I thought it would because, like, hearing Joaquin speak, he didn't really like roll his R's when it comes to like morte, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I don't I don't fault the acting or the sounds. I think it just sounded a little more authentic to what the story was talking about. There are times when like the kids are talking, they're like, "Oh, la muerte," and it's like, that kid probably can't roll his R. It's okay. So honestly, I don't think it played that big of a problem.
Okay,
I'll get to
fair.
that in a later topic. You can ask me that again.
All right, all right. Well, I think we're going to speak about another uh, Hispanic or Mexican uh, movie in a little bit with Coco. So I guess we'll come back to it at that point.
Mhm.
Um, before that, then, before that,
Yeah,
then,
but I highly recommend this one. I think it's a really fun, slight introduction to neo-paganism in its own way, or Day of the Dead. In a different instance, it is a love story. It is uniquely told, is very Princess Bride because it's a story within a story. I thought I liked the animation. I thought it was cool.
okay.
So overall, I recommend.
Well, from strange things to stranger things. I want to talk a little bit about Stranger Things Tales from 85.
I
So
thought
I
it was
got
really
through the first season, and there is a second season that's been announced coming later this year, I believe. But I just watched the first season in the recent weeks, and yeah, I just want to drop a few words on that because I mean, I was a big fan of the Stranger Things main series from season 1 to season 5 and how it all went down. And, like I said, how with many episodes ago that, yeah, they had their, things that didn't add up and things that didn't make sense and their holes and plot holes and stuff and all that kind of thing. It wasn't, a perfect whatever, but ultimately it was still enjoyable. It was still fantastic, still an emotional roller coaster. And I felt they did way more right than they did wrong. So still really enjoyed it all the way through. Now with Tells 85, what I find interesting about this, and I'm going to avoid major spoilers, but I might say something that could be a tiny, tiny little bit, but I won't spoil it. Hope spoil it too much for you. What I find interesting is that it's set between seasons 2 and seasons 3 of the main show, right? And in particular, it's set in, I believe, January of 85 between those two seasons. And in this first season, they've done a lot. Like, they've done a lot. Like in terms of like, the what happens, some of the characters, a very cool, interesting new character. And the thing that keeps coming to my mind is why does none of this get mentioned in seasons 3, 4, and 5? Now, of course, we know the actual answers because this seasons 3, 4, and 5 were made before they made this show. Of course, duh, it's not going to be mentioned. But in terms of, say, the story, like the story of and the chronological of it, these are pretty significant events. And you'd think, like, why would they not be mentioned? Like, why would there be no thing of like, we can't do what we did with that last time because that didn't work, or remember when we had this, and I know physically that that's not going to happen because of when they were actually made, but story and chronological narrative ways, it's kind of like there's a lot going on for this to just not get mentioned. So, and especially now, it's like there's a second season that's also set between the same period. I'm kind of thinking like, uh, are they going to end Tales of 85? I don't know how many seasons they plan on doing with it, but whenever it gets to an end, are they planning on ending it with an explanation as to why none of this gets mentioned in the later seasons? And if so, it's gonna have to be a pretty convincing explanation. Or
Right.
are they just gonna do what they do and not care about whether it fits in or whether it makes sense or not? Because I kind of feel like both ways could be awesome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Because all these things are simultaneously happening without it being mentioned, or they're trying to sweep it under the rug, but then you can't keep sweeping it under the rug, so then it bursts. Another really good example of that was Lion King in a half. So you're in between both movies, Lion King 1 and then Lion King, not really 2, but it's mainly just following the events of Lion King 1, but it's not number 2. And so there's all these moments and points where they make it work to fit with the actual storyline, despite the storyline already being done. And you're like, oh, makes sense. And it's just like, yeah, I could see that happening. It's definitely plausible now. Was it on my mind? No, but it's definitely plausible now. Versus
Yeah.
like, them not explaining it and then just letting it go by, and it's like, okay, well, that's what we did. Bye. Like,
Yeah.
no, you don't want that. You really don't want that. You know?
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I mean, I guess it's for me, it's like if you're just gonna make a good show, right? And what you do is great and it's fine, even if it doesn't fit in with the main show. If it's just a great show from beginning to end, then cool. Is what it is. You made a great show. It didn't fit in with the main story, but so what? It was still a great show, or did all the things. So I felt like that could be cool. But then I'm also kind of like, yeah, you don't. You part of me is like, yeah, you don't want to just be like, all this stuff goes on, and all significant things go on, and then it's like, okay, so why is none of this ever brought up? Like, not a peep, not a nothing. Like, how you gonna explain why not a single one of them mentions anything about all these significant, like, so yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they do it or if they do it. But yeah, nonetheless, I enjoyed the show. I thought it was a pretty cool show. Like I said, I like the Stranger Things main show, so I'm enjoying this spin off as well. Um, it's pretty cool. Stranger Things, Tales from '85, which was more than 40 years ago at this point. Can you believe it? 1985 was
Yeah.
more than 40 years ago. If you were born in '85, you are 41 this
It
year.
is legit 41. Me?
You're-
Who is?
well, if you're born in 1985, if a person was born in 1985, that person would be 41 this
Hmm.
year. You weren't born in 1985, were you? I
That's
think
correct.
you're.
It would
Yeah,
be
you
41.
were. Wait, wait. No, yeah, you weren't born in 95.
87.
87.
No, 87.
Oh, 87. Oh, you were born the year Michael Jackson released Bad.
Because I'm a bad girl.
Is it 87? I'm sure it was
Not really.
87.
I'm lucky. I'm a very lucky girl. What's that?
I'm gonna check
What'd you
that real
say?
quick. Uh, um, Release date of Bad.
I don't know.
It was 87. Yeah, it was 87. August 31st, 1987. It was
Oh,
released.
too late.
Are you a
I was
August
born
baby?
before that. No, I'm a July baby.
July baby.
You want
Oh
to know
wait, no,
something
I knew that
special?
actually. I knew that. Yeah, I think you told me that. My bad. I'm sorry. Yeah,
You
because we
sure?
share a month. We share a month.
Do we share a month?
Yeah,
What day are you again?
4th July.
Your fourth?
Yeah,
Wait, American Independence Day is your birthday? Wow.
yeah.
Hmm.
Well, I
Gotta
mean,
celebrate barbecue.
it's it's more, they call it American Independence. I think the truth is they just celebrate my birthday, but because it's in America, they got to call it a different name. But
Hmm.
really they're celebrating my birthday.
That's cute. Yeah. Yes, okay, Rapunzel. We'll take you to see the fireworks someday.
Rapunzel.
Did you not
What?
watch Tangled?
Well, Rapunzel has the long hair.
Yeah. The joke is because Rapunzel never got to go see the fire, like the lanterns that are released on her birthday every year. That she's like, oh, I don't understand why the same day as my birthday they release like all these lanterns. I want to go see it for my birthday sometime. That's really cool.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, I
so
get that.
because in
Yeah,
America they're releasing fireworks and having a great party
yeah,
and you've never been invited, you're Rapunzel.
I get it. Okay, so I didn't see Tangled, so yeah, I didn't get that joke. My bad.
Your homework.
Um, yeah,
Your homework is not the book of life. It's
I
called
just I just I just know Rapunzel
Tangled
about
now.
having a long hair, and which I don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that
yeah,
that joke wasted on because
yeah.
you are not cultured. Again,
All
I'm
right.
I'm like the animation girl. I watch anything animated.
And speaking of
That being
being
said,
cultured,
I think I will eventually. I'll eventually watch Stranger Things 86. Um,
85.
eventually I will. I think that's one of the 85. Eventually, when I sit down and gets a moment to not be on the go, which is now because I'm done traveling for a bit, I'll definitely give it a good watch.
Yeah, I think if you
Probably while
enjoyed the main
folding
show,
laundry.
if you enjoyed the main show, you probably enjoy this as well. If you didn't enjoy the main show, you might still like this because it is, so I think it's different enough. Um, but yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's not very long. The
There's a
episode's like
problem at
20
the end
something
of the
minutes
main
each.
show. There's a problem at the end of the main show. I hate I hate what they did to like the older group of kids. I hate how it happened to them. Like
What do you
I
mean?
wish they got better endings than that. That's it.
Do you mean like the end, like when they're on the roof?
And on the rooftop. Like I don't think that was the end I was hoping for.
Oh, you know what? You don't like that.
I hated it.
I
I thought
mean,
that
I
was the
wouldn't say I liked
sloppiest
it because it was
ending.
sad,
Like I
but
know no, that was just sloppy. That was just sloppy. I, and like, oh yeah, we're just kids going through life now. None of this extra crazy ass bullshit that the government set up for us. Oh yeah, we went through this fucking neo-dimensional fucking fortress of hell to come back to being a fucking peasant.
it's just life.
The fuck? The fuck? The fuck is that? The fuck is fucking Rambo little Susie ass bitch running across the fucking sand desert shit, and then all of a sudden it's like, yeah, I
You kind of broken up a little bit. So,
it easy and maybe write a paper. Like I get it's fine, but she deserves better than that. Fucking nerd bitch and Robin deserve to be together after that PTSD shit. Fucking Eve needs to be fucking married. Like he needs to be married. He needs to be married and still doing Little League. I'm okay with that, but he's not married. He deserves to be married. Give that man a fucking ring and a lovely woman because he schooled those fucking kids through that trauma the whole time and he lost his Mercedes.
you might get married. I mean,
It's
you
a
met that
it,
girl.
no, no, not a might, not a might. No, he should have gotten like at least engaged in planning the wedding, not this. Oh yeah, she's the one. No, no, no. He deserved better than that, and everyone knows it because that guy was solid as gold. He was giving Dustin tips. He was trying to keep Dustin alive. He was trying to help everyone else. This guy was Mr. Cool Guy, jock asshole in the high school, and then he fucking buckled up and helped all these fucking little ass kids and their little brothers and sisters because like he was shaboinking the older sister of one of them little ass kids. And then it's just like now you're just a little league coach and teaching like what high school math. No, this guy deserves a fucking lady at his side that loves him, he can go home to, and then be all like, look, I have my little leagues, and someday, like, it would have been cute if she holds up like a little league, like, tea, and be all like, oh, look, we're expecting you. Like, that's what he deserves.
You know what I liked
Jonathan, I
about
don't
the
see it.
ending though. If we yeah, I was going to talk about this a little bit now. So, I
I'm
tell you
getting
what I
into
liked
it.
about that scene is that, like I said, it was sad because they're talking and they're meeting and they're promising to save each other's lives, but also that they know it's not going to happen. And that's how it is in life, right? Where you have friends in school, and you try to stay in contact with certain people, and for one reason or another it doesn't always work out that way. Like, maybe you keep it up for the first few months, maybe the first few years, but then slowly but surely you kind of drift away and drift away and drift away. And when they were talking about, yeah, we're gonna meet every month, we're gonna meet every month, and then you see the looks on their faces, it's like they're saying it, but they themselves know this is it. They know this is it. And you can see that in their faces, just the way they kind of, acting. And especially with like Robin and Nancy, you can just see it in their face that they know this is it. That this is amongst the last times, if not the last time, that they could see each other. And it's a sad realization of growing up, that they've shared this experience that, you know, together that they can't really talk about because of governments and blah blah blah. But they've all shared that, and they've bonded, and they've gotten close, and they've spoken to people, and they've become friends with people that they might have normally become friends with. Like that whole speech that Dustin gave as well. Like, that was them. And then now they're here and they're sitting on this roof, and they've all moved on in that time. It's like the 18 months in the between the end of Vecna and that bit. They've all moved on, and
I don't know. I
in
think
a
it's like
relatively
10
short
years
amount
or
of time.
something. No, no,
Yeah,
no,
like
because
because that bit is like
the
18
kid
months later.
graduates from high school. That's 4 years.
Yeah, but I mean that bit is like
Yeah.
18 months afterwards, because there's like an 18-month time gap from what
No,
happens with
because they
Vecna to
were.
the end. Okay,
When they
your
first
mic's gonna
got
go.
here, so it has to be like 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, no, but
Because
at
it
the
was it
what
was
means after they defeat Vecna, yeah,
dad.
yeah, after they defeat Vecna, that scene there's an 18-month time gap. So they defeat Vecna, then it goes 18 months later,
You're
and
cutting
that's
in
when they
and
have
out.
the graduation, and then the whole thing on the roof.
Are you
So
sure?
that's yeah. So yeah, in the
Yeah, so
18
that's
months
even
between when they defeat Vecna to when they're on the roof, there's a lot that's happened in between then.
so it's like
You know what? I think your mic keeps breaking up. Sal, your mic's going. And your
mad.
video has
So
frozen.
no, it can't be that much longer, but it's got to be 4 years ish.
Between Vecna and the end, sorry, between
Because
Vecna and the roof scene.
with Steve doing the. Okay, no. Okay, so let's go back. Let's go back. So when Steve died, they were freshmen in high school. So were
Steve.
they after Steve's death? Did they go?
Wait,
Not Steve.
Steve didn't die.
Who's the? No, I know I'm messing up the names. Who's the guy who wore the Hellfire Club shirt? His name's not Steve.
Oh, you talking about Eddie?
Yeah, okay. When Eddie died in freshman year. So when season 5 came out,
That
was
was
that
season 4.
them in sophomore year?
All right, so yeah, from season
Season
4 to
4 was
season
when Eddie
5,
died, wasn't it?
I can't remember the time
Yeah, is
difference
that a
between
year
season 4
gap?
and season 5. Yeah, that time difference I don't remember, but yeah, it is sometime later after when season 5 starts. But at the end of season 5, the last episode of season 5, they go to the Vecna planet, or the Vecna
Yeah.
verse. They defeat Vecna. They come out, they
Yeah,
blow
yeah,
up
yeah.
the Upside Down. They
Yes.
L's there. It's like no, that whole bit. So
No,
that
but
they
that's
blow up
my
the Upside
point.
Down,
So
and then
the
from that
time
bit,
from
yeah,
Eddie dying, yeah. So my point is the time from Eddie dying till when Vecna dies and the Upside Down gets. This is very
yeah,
substantial because is that a 2 year
yeah,
gap
that,
or is that a 1 year gap? That's the
yeah. I mean,
biggest thing because
I,
then that'll
yeah,
determine how long this gap is when they're on the rooftop.
no,
Because
because what it
if
says
they
it.
are
I mean, it says it on the screen. It says 18 months later. Like, so after they
no,
defeat
that's not what
Vecna,
I'm saying.
it says
Because
18
that
months
will
later.
actually, yeah. If it says 18 months later, is that going to be months later from when his death died, or is it
Nah,
18
18
months
months
just
after
from this
Vecna.
point? Because
Yeah, 18 months
yeah,
after
so
Vecna.
that means what is this point of time between Eddie dying and when Vecna dying? What's that
Uh,
point frame?
I'd have to look that up, but I don't know, like maybe a
But
few
that's what I'm
years.
saying. Look it up. You had time to look up my shit. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay,
because
I'm gonna look it up.
that's not the time frame I was talking about.
When
I was talking about the time
did
frame between the
Eddie
time difference
die?
between the end of Vecna and the roof. That is 18 months because it says it on the screen.
Yeah,
18
yeah, yeah.
months.
Okay, hold on. His tragic death died March 27, 1986. 86. The same time
86.
as your shit that's happening in your Stranger Things thing that you
Oh
just
no, that's
watched.
85. That's a year before that.
Okay, a year after Eddie dies. Okay, so what year? Okay, what
Okay, so if
year
you search,
did
okay, how long
Vecna?
between
No. It's faster if I just do it like this. So
end
Vecna
of
died
season
in
4?
87. So we go from 86 to 87. It took a year for them to execute that.
Okay,
So then we go from 18 months. So that's almost 3 years. So
yeah,
while
two
this
and a half years.
happened, yeah, so
Yeah,
that makes sense. So that's not 2.5 years, is it?
yeah. 1 year from
No, because in
sorry, Eddie
86,
to Vecna, then 18
yeah,
months
Eddie to
after
Vecna
Vecna.
is
It's 2.5 years.
that was 1 year. Yeah, so 2.5.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. So they change. That doesn't make sense because in USA, people graduate within people do 4 years of high school. Okay, hold on, let me ask.
Yeah, well, they started
So,
school before
mhm,
that though. They didn't
what are
start
you talking
school
about?
with. They didn't start school with Eddie. They were in school
Yes, they
before.
did. No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were
No,
always in
because that's
school.
how they got together with the Hellfire Club.
Yeah, that was just a new year, but they were in school before that. That was the start of a new year. They were in school. They've always been in school. They're just in a new year.
No, because there's a transition from 8th grade to high school. So we missed that. You see what I mean? So there's this transitioning period for USA schools. You are no longer in primary grade school. You jump into
Okay.
high school. And that's where we're missing that. And in high school, you have 4 years till you graduate. And what they're
Yeah.
giving us is giving us only 3 years to graduate.
Well, they would have been. I mean, because they were in school with like what Max when wasn't that high school when they had like the whole Mad Max thing in season 2.
No, no,
Wasn't that high school or season 3?
no. They were still in grade school. They were 8th graders. Let's look it up because I
We've
remember
taken a bit of
Elle
a
getting bullied. I'm
we're
taking
taking a
this
bit
too
of a
seriously.
detour on this podcast, but okay, a little Stranger Things detour.
But
Um, I don't
okay.
know the American great school system all too well, but we're about to try and
Hold on,
figure
we're
out if
looking
they
this
actually
up.
did 4 years of high school before we move on to the next topic. That's what's happening right
It's
now.
gonna buy.
Did they actually do 4 years of high school in Stranger Things, or did they just do 2.5 years and just skip a year and a half or whatever?
Oh, looks like I'm not the only one who asked this question because it's coming up on my Google search. And the answer is no. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. So what's the answer?
Zero. Okay. AI overview says no, they did not complete a traditional 4 years of typical high school in Stranger Things. So I feel better knowing that AI overlords have answered me. And it's also a huge Reddit thread with over so many comments. So this I
Okay.
don't understand the school timeline r/Stranger Things. So it is also a real thing because
Okay. So they didn't
there you
complete
go.
high school. They, or then
Not
again,
properly. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
they
So
might
listen.
have been given like credits or something because they were all traumatized of the. Because remember they had that whole earthquake thing, didn't they?
Yeah, the
You
big
know, so
exit.
yeah, when the ground splits, they might have been given like some credits or been like, okay, you're just been through some traumatic earthquake, earth splitting apart, tragedy. You know, let's just give these kids a break. So it could have been that.
Yeah.
could have been like, yeah.
So what it says here on AI overlords, because I type in a question and this is what I get now. The younger kids, Mike, 11, Dustin, Lucas, they were freshmen during season 4. I was right. Due
Okay.
to the catastrophe of the end of season 4 and the ensuing events in season 5, their traditional high school experience is completely altered.
Okay. So, but yeah, it's because of what happened
But
then.
that's
Okay.
correct. So there
So
we go.
they
So
don't do
I am
4 years,
correct
but
in the sense
there's
that
a
they shouldn't have been graduating within 3 years. They did have some fuck uppery because of the big ass X shit. So they got their time skip. And so with Nancy, Jonathan, and Robin, they were high school seniors during season 4, set in spring 1986. Their education was heavily disrupted by the chaotic events in Hawkins. By the time season 5 rolls around, after a massive time skip, they have moved forward with their lives. And then Steve, he already graduated before everyone because he was older. So he was the
okay.
most normal.
He was the only okay. He was just hanging
Yeah,
around with a bunch of kids. The
exactly
grown
why
man
he
hanging
needed
around
to
with
be
kids.
married with a baby on the way.
Well, I mean,
I'm
he had to
never gonna
save the
let that
world
go.
first, so
That's some
maybe
hot
that's the
hot
next thing they do.
man shit.
A Steve spin-off. Cell wants a Steve spin-off of Stranger Things.
No, I just want justice for him. I want him to have his
Yeah.
happy ending the proper way. He needs to have a
Happy
nice
ending.
lady holding up a little Tykes little jersey because he is the team captain. So he's
Yeah,
got
if you
his
have
new
the
squad.
strange
You know what I mean?
Stever things. That's the next one we need to do. Stever things.
Please stop that.
Stever things. The Adventures of
Yeah,
Steve
but we
after
have
Hawkins.
solved the dilemma.
Yeah.
We have went on
Steve
this
moved
huge
to Los
tangent
Angeles
on
to start a new
timeline.
life. Actually, no, not yeah, Los
Oh,
Angeles because he's from a small town, so he has to move to a big city. He moves to Los Angeles to start a new life. Maybe he
he can move
tries
to
becoming an
Boston.
actor.
Steve?
Right.
No, he's gonna run to his doppelganger who used to be on Parks and Rec. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Don't be suspicious. Did you watch
Too
Parks and
late for
Rec?
that. I did not. Sorry. I don't. Did
Ah,
it, I don't know if they even showed it over here. I've heard of the show because
actually, that's
internet,
fair
but I'm not sure if they actually
because
showed
The
it over here.
Office. Yeah, because The Office has the original UK version, and then Americans redid it. So
Yeah.
that's fair. And then Parks and Rec was kind of like its own like brainchild based kind of around Parks and off of The Office. And then they're like, oh, Leslie Knope is too Michael Scott, so we had to change it. I don't
All
think they
right.
have a UK version. Also, don't worry, you might have to pay that license to watch it.
Exactly. I ain't paying that damn TV license. Apparently, it is being shown in the UK actually. So yeah, but I don't watch
All right, you
TV.
got
So
some
there you
extra
go.
homework to do when you feel like it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
My
force
Channel
you
4 by the
because
looks of
it was
it.
only forced upon me by my ex. Did I like it? Not really, but when I ended up watching it, I ended up enjoying it later.
Fair. All right then.
Mhm.
Well, we after that stranger detour, let's go back to a strange movie. If maybe, tell us a little bit about Coco.
Okay, so talking about kids stealing things and doing bad things, here we are with Coco. So we went from kids kind of saving the world behind the parents' back and soon forward in parents' faces kind of things to a child that just wants to be able to live his life, do the things he wants, and play music because music is banned from his family. And the story starts out with this kid telling his family story. So you get the background without needing a full blown out explanation. So his great grandfather left to pursue a life of music and never came back. So mama and baby was all like, dude, we gotta do something. So they became shoe cobblers. So they made shoes. And then when she learned how to make shoes, she taught how to make shoes to his grandmother, aka um yeah, I think it's great. Yeah. So great grandmother learned how to make shoes. Great grandmother Coco learned how to make shoes, gave it to her grandmother. Like now he's grandmother. So his grandmother taught the rest of the family, and they're all alive. Grandma is still great grandma. So he finds out that his great great grandfather, aka this guy up here, is possibly the greatest musician in all of Mexico. And so he's like, I gotta meet this guy and make him proud. And I'm gonna be a musician because that's in my blood. I want music. His whole family is against music. It's like the greatest sin. It's like punching a baby, kicking a puppy. You know, it is the worst thing you could do to this family. So he steals a guitar from this dead musician, and it causes him to be transported to the land of the dead. Because why? He stole a guitar on the Day of the Dead, thus causing the brand new story of Coco. It is a very delicious, beautiful movie filled with rich ideas, scenery. It plays a little vast into the same scenery of the Book of Life. Both of them celebrate the same things in cute little ways, but they do it with their own little quirks. Like we didn't really see alebrijes or like spirit guides in the Book of Life from what I remember, but we do get a lot of that in Coco. Coco focuses a lot on traditional Mexican folklore of Day of the Dead, which it is a real holiday. And the traditions are passed down. So they talk about how these special orange petals will guide the dead ones back to the land of the living. So that's a very big, like, key cornerstone in the movie. That being said, I don't know any of the actors. I didn't look it up. But was it good? I enjoyed it. I was thoroughly enjoyed. I love listening to the music. My favorite song is definitely uh La Roma. Oh my god, can I say it properly without losing my tongue? I can Llorona. So it's like the tears of the baby or something. How do you say it? Like Coco. Mm, yeah, it's just called La Rona. And it's just so sweet. I'm like, I don't know if it's a real song, but it's like pure
It
Spanish.
is now, I
There's
guess.
no English in it at all. And I was just like, oh yeah, yeah, mami, I do like this. It's just like I'm looking at the translation of La Rona. And it's just like, oh my baby, like you're crying in the blue sky, my crybaby. Although it cost me my life, I won't stop loving you. And like it's the sweetest song, but it's so different when you see it. And so it's just like the great grandmother, when he meets her, she later sings a song, and it's just like, oh my god, oh my heart. It like is so sweet. It's so sweet. So such a good song in that moment in time and space. There's no shortage of good songs, even if they have like Spanish lyrics. It does get you feeling some sort of way. So the music does push it forward. And it's not just one of those like, oh yeah, we're gonna use this cheesy mechanic that, oh yeah, he's just wanting to be a musician. No, this story is really heavily family focused. It's a different kind of love story of like familial piety. And I think more movies can focus on this kind of familial piety as opposed to like, oh yes, I'm gonna find the true love of my life. Like, oh, let me kiss you kind of thing. Like they did the opposite of that kind of with Frozen. Instead of like, you know, Anna going to go kiss Kristoff, instead she saves Elsa kind of thing. So I think, you know, having more like family love wins the day kind of stuff is really nice. And that's why like I do love this movie. I love talking about this movie. I do like telling people to watch this movie. I think it's visually beautiful, the acting is very good, the songs are great, and the story itself, it is original. So like, to be fair, they did get sued about it because they did take the shoe cobbler people. There is a real Coco family. They did take them and use them in the movie and didn't like reference them. So they did get sued and they lost. But either way, like, you know what? That's shame on you. That's shame on you, Disney execs, because you knew better and you didn't. So shame on you. But that being said, like, it's still a cool story. I think it was fun. So that's Coco. I do recommend this one don't wear like it's to apples. It is definitely not the same kind of fantasy because the first one is about like romantic love and the second one is more familial piety love.
Okay. Yeah, I watched the trailer for this as well, and it did look really interesting. The whole thing about music and how he finds or his great grandfather comes back as a ghost or something and just guides him along his journey. Um, you mentioned something about was it rolling R's that you wanted to come back to. So is there characters in this that roll their R's properly or don't roll their R's properly?
Okay, so it wasn't necessarily rolling the R's, but I just think the accents were so thick the first time I watched it. I was like, "Oh God, what is that?" And like personally, I don't know like Mexican Spanish that well to understand like is this an okay accent or is it too much? When I lived in Los Angeles, I got tidbits here and there, but this just felt like a big like smack in my face where it's just like, "Oh yeah, everyone has to talk like this caricature." And I'm like, maybe it's just me not understanding or appreciating, but like it just seems so characteristic as opposed to being like authentic. And maybe that's just because I'm not used to hearing it. So I was like, oh my God, I'm so off put by like this hard accent. And one of those things is like whenever they said Mama Coco, I was like, oh my God, nails on the chalkboard. Because it was like, me saying Mama Coco, it's kind of like what you would expect. But when it was in Spanish, hold on, they kind
Yeah.
of said it
So
with different emphasis, like Mama Coco, and I was like, Mama Coco. I don't know. There was just something else about it that I'm just like, dude, I just don't understand the accent. I'm feeling really bad about it, but it just deterred me a little bit because there was just a little bit more so than the Book of Life. And I think that surprised me in its own way because I'm like, is this being genuine or are they just being like, oh yeah, we're gonna do it like, yeah, can you make it sound more Mexican? Or there are shows where they're like, oh yeah, you're playing a British character, so give it more of a twang like the Brits do. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I felt a little like sting here and there where I'm just like, oh, I don't know if I'm enjoying this or if I'm feeling attacked, but I don't know. And so there were times where it's like it's a little bit too much. It's a little like, okay, I get it. So yeah, there's that. And anyone who wants to say that I'm like not that kind of person, well then okay. Like you come into a movie not knowing what to expect, created by Disney, you can watch Wally for the first 30 minutes and Up for the first 30 minutes and there's no sound, no human speaking, and yet here I am.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting what you said about the accents and how you saying you lived in was it Los Angeles for a little
Mhm.
bit, yeah. Because I was just looking at some of the cast, and it seems there's quite a few members who are either directly Hispanic or Hispanic heritage, but at least a couple of them have spent some significant time in California. So perhaps perhaps that's where that's coming from. So perhaps
Yeah,
that's where it's coming from.
I had a coworker who was legitimate from like her family hailed from Mexico. She was I don't know if she herself migrated from Mexico, but she is legit like Mexican. So every once in a while when we were talking, she's like, "Oh yeah, my people, my culture, Mexican culture. I really want to put that in my drawing." I was like, "What is she doing? What what is she talking about?" And to my virgin self of not knowing, I'm going to say naive. Um, she kept talking about Mexican culture, saying Mexican culture, and I was like, "Am I stupid? I am. I'm uncultured because I don't know what the hell she's talking about when she says Mexican." And I was like, "Marissa, you're stupid. It's Mexican, but she's doing it in her cultural
Yeah, how
thing."
the X's are pronounced. Yeah, Mexican.
Yeah, and I'm just
Yeah,
like,
Mexico.
oh, if I had clicked in my head, because like coming from Midwest ish, like Kentucky to LA. I've never been exposed to something like that. I didn't take Spanish as my language elective. I took Japanese, okay? I got lucky. I got what I wanted. So when people are like, oh yeah, let's go to El Pollo Loco, I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? What is that? They're like, the chicken
Crazy
joint. I'm
chicken.
like, El Pollo Loco? Like, is that what you're saying? They're like, oh yeah, the L's make an I sound. I'm like, uh, I'm learning so much right now. I'm
Yeah,
okay. Yeah.
it's only double L's that do that, by the way. So like
Yeah.
if it's double L, then it's like pollo rather than polo. It's about pollo. So like yeah, El Pollo Loco. So when it's a double L, it'd be like that. If it's a single L, it'd be kind of like how the English people
Yeah, like
pronounce
El.
L's. So
Yeah.
like
Like
los,
El
la,
Norte.
but double L's are
Yeah.
like yeah, UV,
So it yeah,
llamar,
not
pollo,
llama.
ella,
Yeah.
Castillo.
It was definitely such a humbling learning experience because it's like, yeah, you don't know cultures. And it's kind of like, oh, here I am again watching Coco. And I'm like, oh, do I not know culture? I'm like, apparently not. I'm naive and ignorant over here. Educate me. So I watched it a few more times and I was like, you know what? Now it's normal to me. I'm not saying I'm gonna go watch telenovela and be all like, oh, the dramatic,
Mate,
oops,
maybe you
or
should.
watch nonstop Sophie
Maybe that's
Vergara.
the next thing. You got a little bit of Mexican culture. Now it's time for the telenovelas.
Yeah, I'll only watch Sophie Vergara. She's hilarious.
She is actually.
Yeah,
She's
not
funny.
just for the big titties, big titty, hot Mexican wifey. No, I like the scenes that she's in for Modern Family that I get on YouTube every blue moon. I'm like, I, she's my brain.
I think she's
No,
just like effortlessly funny, like naturally funny. Like that, like the clips and interviews and things I've seen her in. It's just like a natural thing,
she's a natural
like
goo.
yeah, like sometimes I mean even with comedians, like sometimes you can cut it feels like they're putting it on or put on a show or put on a character, but I feel like her with her it just feels so effortlessly natural. And I don't know, maybe she's just that good at it. I wouldn't know. But either way, yeah. Big
I
up
don't know, but
Sophia
I
Vergara.
love her, and I will watch more to find more women like her, or like entertainers who are effortless and do great. You know?
Indeed. All right
Yeah.
then.
So that's
Well,
Coco. Would you ever watch Coco? Have you
I've
watched Coco?
I've not watched it. It does look like something I might enjoy though. Like I said, when I watched the trailer, it looks really interesting. Um, and seeing now that yeah, I guess a lot of the like I say, a lot of the cast seem at least. I mean, maybe I'm being a little bit assumative here, but yeah, just going by the names, a lot of the cast seem like they're either Hispanic or Hispanic heritage, and saying out the ones I've clicked on, seem to be that. So that'd be good as somebody who is learning Spanish to watch a film where you have people who might understand it, or I would assume understand the language a lot better than I do, um, and see that. So yeah, I think I might check that out at some point. Coco.
By the way, have you ever ate Pocky before?
Have I sorry what?
Have you ever ate Pocky before? This is not
Oh,
an
Pocky.
advertisement, but have you ate this before?
I don't believe I have. I mean, at least is that name of the brand, or is because it looks like
That's the name of the
it's,
brand. It's like
it's
sticks
like a
coated
candy
in
stick.
chocolate. Yeah, it's a
I
candy
mean, I've
stick.
had sticks coated in chocolate. I guess
Yeah, that's the
similar
same
kind of
thing.
things like that.
Yeah, so it's
I
basically a stick covered in chocolate.
that
This
though.
is
I
what I'm
mean,
snacking on.
that chocolate is blue though.
No.
Was
This is a different flavor, and I want to talk about this really quickly before we segue into our next event because this is in the shape of a heart. Can you see it?
oh,
Can
okay.
you see it?
Yeah. I see it.
Can
Yeah,
you see
yeah,
it? It's in the shape of a heart.
yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
eating little chocolate covered heart stick.
Ah,
Are we sponsored? No, but what is your? Tell us down below. What is your favorite snack while watching
yeah.
watching your show?
These days I don't really eat a whole lot of sweets. I try to avoid things that are high in sugar. Not that I never eat high sugar stuff, but I really try to avoid a lot of it these days. So when it comes to sweets, I tend to go for things like dark chocolate. Um,
Ooh.
because I'm bougie, dark chocolate. um, but the things that it's expensive. Like if you want the good dark chocolate, it's expensive. So yeah, you can't be doing that on a regular basis. You go broke. You go broke. So
Yeah, Lynn took your deli, you're screwed.
yeah. But back in the day when I was a kid, when I was in school, I think I used to eat so many sweets like what's it called, like the cola bottles, or little fizzy cola bottles. I used to eat
Mhm.
those. The
They still cool
gobstoppers.
about me.
Um, man, bear donuts. Oh,
Did you
Twix. I
eat
used to eat Twix a lot.
Skittles? This is
Skittles,
not a
yeah.
sponsored
M&Ms.
post. I have
All of
Skittles
that,
with
man.
me.
I'm still having the teeth
Why?
problems now because of all the sweets I ate back then. So
Trust. I need to go to the dentist and
yeah.
get my shit re-cleaned.
Oof,
You should get your teeth cleaned every year, at least once or 2 times.
indeed.
Save the money for it. It'll save you in the long run. That's why I still have all my natural teeth.
Yeah, I have to. I'm trying. Well, I hopefully getting best right. Be because getting regular with the dentist visits. I went to the dentist
That
not too
shit's
long ago,
expensive.
a couple of weeks ago actually. So need to try and keep that regular to
Hmm.
avoid as many issues as possible because I've had teeth taken out. I've had crowns. Oh, damn! I tell you, it's no fun. Well, yeah, it's no fun. It's no fun.
Dude,
So
most of
yeah.
my hind teeth, my molars, they're plaster. Like
Yeah,
they've had so many cavities back in the day.
yeah, it's just
Are they good now? Yes. But it would have been better if I just brushed and flossed better and gone to the dentist more.
yeah, less sweets.
I can't help it. I
um,
can, but then I get on a binge thing and then I eat a lot of sweets. It's all right. We have practices. I'm going to see the dentist soon. That being
yeah,
said, what's your
do that
next
properly.
topic, Bandit?
All right, so let's go from sweets to a little bit dark, actually. So I want to talk about. Well, actually, here's one: from dark chocolate to a dark TV show. Ah, ah. I think you're frozen again, by the way. You good, Sal?
Talk about what? Hello? Oh,
All right, there we
no,
go.
I
There we
lost
go.
my
We back.
network.
We back.
I'm back.
Yeah, cut out for
I
a
was
bit.
like, what are we talking about? Oh
Yeah. So
my God.
yeah, from dark chocolate to a dark TV show. I want to talk a little bit about Spider Noir, which is the new TV show that just aired
Ooh!
on Amazon Prime. All 8 episodes of the first season, starring Nicolas Cage. And first of all, I'm going to say it was a great show. I really enjoyed it all the way through. I thought it was fantastic what they did with it. I won't go into any spoilers. I imagine people who are interested in it are just going to go watch it anyway if you haven't seen it already. And if you're not interested in it, I think if you're not really into like comic book stuff and things like that, I think you can still enjoy this particular show. And I'm going to try and explain why I think that as well. So the big thing about this show, one of the big things about this show is that they gave you two options into to watch it. One called authentic black and white, and one called true hue color. Right now, I have seen some of the clips in the true hue color on YouTube and things like that, so I have an idea of what it looks like, and it looks fine. I'm not knocking it, but I did decide to watch the whole thing in authentic black and white. And
Yeah.
in my opinion, and granted, I've not watched it again in true hue color. I've just, like I said, just seen the clips of it. But in my opinion, I do feel like this is the optimal way to watch it. And I'm going to try and explain why I think that. Because it's set in 1933. And if you are an appreciator of movies or a fan of films, in particular, if you've seen films from that era or see or productions made during that time, I feel like you'd really appreciate what they did with this show because it's not just a black and white filter that they threw over it. There's so many things that they do where you could, for a moment, almost believe this was actually made in 1933. I mean, it wasn't. We know it wasn't, and there's definitely things in the show that lets you know it wasn't made in 1933. So it's not that. but there's definitely, in my opinion, a significant amount of the viewing experience where you could just let yourself believe this could have been made in 1933. You know, from the lot the acting style, from the to the the camera angles and how the camera pans, a lot of the movements, a lot of what they do is just of course the scenery and the setting and that too, and also even the fact that the black and white that they use itself, like I mean, the black and white is clearly not a black and white of 1933. I think it's 2026, of course not. But even with the fact that it's very clear and high def and all that modern stuff, even with that, you could still kind of believe that this could be like a cleaned up black 1933 image. You know what I mean? Like I feel like they just do so much so well that it's so reminiscent. I say reminiscent. I'm not that old, but I shouldn't use the
Are
word
you sure?
reminiscent. Um,
You're great.
so I got jokes today. Cool. So good. So
I'm
good.
just kidding.
But yeah, there's so much they do that is so of that era, of that 30s era, and I've seen a few films from like the 30s and 40s and things like that, so I have a familiarity with that style. But yeah, to me, it was just like fantastic, just what they did. I mean, and on top of all that, it's a great show from beginning to end. It's just a good story, good action, good characters, all of that plots, twists, all the things you'd want in a good show. It does those things. Um, and yeah, just the fact that watching it in the authentic black and white was like this experience of like, man, they really nails this era. They really nails that aesthetic, that style of that era. So yeah, Spider Noir. If you've not watched it, watch it. You've not watched it, or do you want to watch it?
I have, yeah. I want to watch it. I didn't know that it was out. I really liked Spider-Man Noir. Is that like it's based off of that, right? From
Yes. Yeah.
Spider-Verse, right? Yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
I love that guy. Like the fact that his
Oh, sorry, Cell. It's breaking up again. Oof.
like
Cell.
we're happy.
The
Okay,
last
so
20 seconds or so,
what
20,
do
30
you mean?
seconds, it just broke.
Okay, that being said, are we here? Are we talking?
Yeah, I think
Oh
we're
my
okay now.
god.
Thi-
Okay, yeah, I absolutely liked the Spider-Verse like side characters, the newer characters, quote unquote, that they had. Spider-Man Noir, absolutely golden material. Like I would easily watch this series. Not only is Spider-Verse like just colorful in its own ways, it's unique, it's a different type of storytelling, especially of a beloved comic book hero. Like it's just so wonderful to see it expanded. But like this particular Spider-Man, it's it's really cool. And hearing that they really went back to the roots of cinematography, despite being in a modern day, is really nice to hear. Like I feel like if you're going to watch that, which I'm going to do, it's only going to be black and white. You have to do it justice. You have to go back
Yeah.
to noir style times, like the old quote unquote like Dick Tracy kind of style where it's just dark and colors might pop if they can. Or as they call it, the mad world. There's this video called and it was black and white, and then they only had like pops of color, which I don't think noir would do. But it's just nice to appreciate the cinematography, and this is what people used to watch for their own entertainment. So I will watch it. It's on my to watch list. I don't know when, but I'm gonna get to it. I want to. I
Yes.
like Spider-Man.
Yes. No, definitely worth checking out. I mean, I might watch it again in color now that I have already seen it in black and white. But I think, in my opinion, if you're watching it for the first time, go with black and white. Um, One thing that I did see actually, which was really interesting, and this is not a spoiler, but So it's called Spider Noir and not Spider Man Noir. And in the comic that it's based on is Spider Man Noir. And apparently the reason for that, also, the character is Ben Riley and not Peter Parker. And it's actually Peter Parker in the comic as well. But apparently the reason why it's called Spider Noir and not Spider Man Noir, and the reason why he's Ben Riley and not Peter Parker, apparently, and I've not confirmed this, but this is something that I heard on the internet. So I don't want to say this is definitely true. It's just something I've heard. It could be true. It might not be. But I want to say it because it sounds like it probably is and it's interesting. Just prefacing that. But apparently the reason for that is due to like basically a contracts that Sony have with Marvel where Peter Parker can't use certain words. Um, can't have him doing anything that one might consider on the other side of the tracks, you know, and that kind of thing. So, and yeah, the show, like I said, I don't want to give it spoilers, but the show does some stuff. So apparently that's the reason why they couldn't use the name Peter Parker and they switched it to Ben Riley. But that being said, because it's set in 1933, I personally feel like Ben Riley is a better name to go with anyway, just because it's set in 1933 in New York, and at that time there was a lot of Irish immigrants in New York, so Riley would have been a common name during that time. So it kind of fits, even though that wasn't the reason they did it, or potentially not the reason they did it. It kind of, I feel like it fits a bit better anyway, just because of that. You had a time where you had a lot of Irish immigrants in New York. Riley's a common name, Ben Riley, you know what I mean? So kind of a
Hmm.
happy accident, I guess, of sorts.
A more believable accident.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, great show, definitely worth checking out. But you know what? We've
Cool.
spoken for a little bit longer than I think we
Wow.
intended to. So perhaps this is
Listen,
a
the time for Stranger Things to find out like if this was normal was important, okay?
it was.
This
I
to
don't
this
regret
to
it.
this, we had to know
Well, I
because
don't
it didn't
regret
make
it.
sense and other people on the internet needed to know and we also found out the answer.
Exactly. We had to get it had to be done, so we did it. But here we
Mhm.
are. But yeah, we hopefully you guys stuck with us and enjoyed our chat over the last hour 50ish minutes. If you have any comments about anything we said, agree, disagree, somewhere in between, let us know. Like, share, subscribe, suggestions of things we should watch. Do you want to watch Spider Noir? Have you watched Spider Noir? Do you want to watch Coco? Have you watched Coco? Book of Life. What about that? What about the other thing we talked about?
Stranger
Stranger
Things
Things.
from
Or and
85.
yeah, and God of War Laufey. Do you plan on playing that? Do you care about God of
Okay.
War? Does it look cool to you? Does it not look cool to you? Let us know. Let us know. But yeah, that's going to be it for the minute. So thank you for watching and or listening. And until whenever, if ever, peace.